a video for no one that never happened. This is timeless. Where did those words go? You can't even grasp this. It's ephemeral, fleeting, transient, this phenomenal content that you as pure awareness are giving rise to. But you are that which remains even when the words stop. I wanted to, for fun, chat about the dream and the waking up, and the dream at night is such a profound clue to this being a dream. It's like the biggest clue. Wake up, this is just a dream. So in the dream at night, you know, like while it's happening, it seems real. Like you're totally lost in it. Like you think you're the avatar in the dream, and things are happening to you, and it's spontaneously unfolding and transient and fleeting and changing. But if you really distill what's happening in the dream, if you really dissect it and look at it, who's in the dream? Were there really characters? Was there really a world? Did it really happen? Was there anything physical? Were you harmed in the dream? Were you really the character in the dream? Because when there's waking up, you realize, wow, that was just a dream. It didn't happen. I was just the one dreaming that remained untouched, unharmed. The one that remained even when the dream disappeared. And when you really back up and distill what's really happening in the dream, what is happening, all there is one awareness, perceiving finite sensations. That's all there is. Tasting these unique qualities. So this felt sense of beingness, this presence, this emptiness from which everything appears and disappears. That which is unchanging, that always remains. When the dream starts and the dream ends, that which is always there. You are that timeless awareness from which everything appears and disappears. You are the one dreaming. And that's all there is the one dreaming. There is no world. There are no characters. Just like in the dream at night, it didn't happen. It was just a dream. Nothing's happening. There's just this empty potential, this total silence and stillness from which everything's appearing and disappearing within you, this pure consciousness. There's just pure experiencing, pure being, and there is no separation. So the awakening, can appear to deepen or appear to wake up more and more and more, to see through the illusion, to feel what you are as this immaculate, infinite self from which nothing is happening. The one dreaming this, which can't be seen because you are it. You can only back up to what you are, and you can't stand apart to see it because you are it. And you are unseeable, invisible, formless, imagining forms, imagining qualities, imagining worlds, tasting yourself as these finite sensations, but remaining untouched, untainted, unstained by what's happening. Just like the dream at night, the dreamer doesn't get hurt. And it's not actually happening. It's all an illusion. So I wrote this down, by projecting other, you can see yourself as one. So as singularity, you can't stand apart from yourself to experience. You're all alone, singular. So by imagining what you're not as quality, you can experience yourself. So as singularity, pure awareness, you can't experience yourself all alone. Can't stand apart to be separate. By projecting yourself as an object of awareness, like a reference point or mirror to be aware of, you can experience yourself. By dreaming yourself to be, you are. So you can only know what you're not. You can only be what you are. But through this negation of what you're not, you realize what you are. So it just appears to transcend the illusion, to recognize what you truly are. But you had to see the illusion first. You had to see what you're not first to realize what you are, because you're singular and you can't be seen. You're all alone. One immutable energy. So how beautiful. So by dreaming a reference point, by dreaming what you're not, you realize what you are. You experience yourself as one. And this is just novelty. You don't need anything. You're immaculate. You're immortal. You're fulfilled. You're whole and complete. You're not inside a body. You don't even need a body. You're the one dreaming bodies, to taste yourself, to taste what it's like to be when you're not. So we imagined it to transcend it as one immortal being. So yeah, the dream at night is one of the biggest clues. And then the deep sleep, being the noumenal, the unmanifest, singularity all alone, not conscious of being aware. And then in this dream of being, you're conscious of being aware, which is God, I am is God. I am that I am. Appearing as everything, experiencing myself as everything, which isn't real. So I am the real, experiencing myself as the unreal, to taste myself. So there can appear to be like layers of the dream, you could say, and like of awakening and waking up more. It can appear like a deepening or a quickening. But I remember, like which didn't happen, it's just information now. This is like space memory perceiving itself. But like, recognizing this. Oh my God, I'm not the character. The whole life didn't happen. It was just a dream. And I'm God dreaming this. That I'm everything. And everything that I thought was real wasn't. Everything I believed was a lie. It was all a hoax. It was all make-believe. It was all these thoughts that were believed or resonated with and then projected. So by resonating with the belief of it or the feeling of being it, I rendered it. I projected it like a movie. And then by attention to the thought of it happening in a past, attention to memory of information, I made it appear like a linear story, which was the illusion of continuity. So like a movie, it was just the immediate frame right now. Nothing happened before this, but then reference point to a memory of a previous frame, which didn't happen, made it seem like a story. And by attaching to that story, by keeping the attention on it, by keep paying attention to the story over and over again, that this happened to me and that happened to me and this is what I am and I'm this character with this story, kept projecting that like a movie. But that was just a dream. None of it happened. Nothing happened. And then there's the recognition of, oh my gosh, what a beautiful dream. I dreamt all of those characters. I dreamt playing the part of my evil stepdad, that abused me, or these trickster characters. And it was just me dreaming myself to be those characters, waking me up from the dream. I dreamed a finite world with false limitations so that I could see myself as the infinite. So that reference point of what I'm not, I could see what I am as the one dreaming this. The infinite, immortal, inconceivable, non-conceptual, non-computational, prior to thought, the source of the mind. Projecting the mind as my playground to experience myself, as a mirror to see myself, as the unseeable that can't be seen, but to taste what I'm not, to realize what I am, how fucking beautiful. And so then there can appear to be layers of that. Like it was, at first, there was still perhaps, because it's like being in the movie theater, watching the movie. You're not in the movie. But then there can be a tiny bit of identification still with the character in the movie, because then there's the shouting from the rooftops, yelling to everyone, wake up, this is just a dream, But who are you saying that to? Because all there is you, is the one dreamer that's immutable, that's formless, invisible, that's not even in the dream, not even in the movie. So there was a little bit of that at first, where it was like, then there was being God, playing the superhero in the movie, but then that was still part of the delusion, the dream. that there was still a world to wake up. So then it seemed to deepen to where there's, it becomes obvious that that's still a projection of the mind, a limited belief, a false assumption. There is no world. There are no characters. All of that's a mental projection. A projection of your mind, hallucination. Which is still like that schizophrenia of believing a hallucination is real and that they're separate entities to help or save or to wake up. But all there is the one dreaming that doesn't need to wake up, that's eternally free, immortal, invincible, eternal, bodiless, formless, without qualities, without a personality, so infinite you can't measure because you are it. You are the infinite. And this is total freedom. There's no world to change. There's no one to convince. No one to need to wake up from the dream. There's no one suffering. There's no one seeking. That was all part of the dream. It's total freedom. You weren't the character. You weren't the character in the movie. And the movie wasn't real. Just like a holodeck in Star Trek. All the avatars and the objects are a hologram. It's not real. This is a mental projection. It's insentient. It's not. You are the sentience, the one dreaming it, giving rise to it, making it appear animated. Because you're the one imagining it. You're God. And all there is God. All there is the one dreaming, the one imagining. So nothing needs to be changed, nothing needs to be done. It's already realized. I wanted to read a beautiful Neville Goddard quotes. Your faith is your fortune by Neville Goddard. Man's faith in God is measured by his confidence in himself, aka, you are God. Before Abraham was, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. So that pure consciousness prior to thought, non-conceptual, non-computational, that pure consciousness which precedes thought which projects the characters in the dream. Because what is there without a thought? There's nothing. There's no world. There's no characters. There's no body. There's nothing, like in deep sleep. That's what you are, no thing. Imagining something. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So by paying attention to thought, you project a world. It's too obvious in the silence of your immaculate being and pure presence, basking in the sense of self prior to thought, in total silence without thought. It's too obvious. There is no world. There's nothing. Nothing but this pure beingness, one immortal being. One immortal being dreaming. In the beginning was the unconditioned awareness of being. Which is what you are, it's just pure being. And the unconditioned awareness of being became conditioned by imagining itself to be something. And the unconditioned awareness of being became that which it had imagined itself to be. So did creation begin. That's beautiful. So like the noumenal, like in deep sleep, unmanifest, you're all alone, you're singular. But by dreaming yourself to be, I am that I am, this object of awareness. You'd have to have an object of awareness to experience yourself as a reference point, contrast of what you're not, to realize what you are, to experience yourself, because you're all alone. Singular, unseeable, infinite, formless, without quality. By this law, first conceiving, then becoming that conceived, all things evolve out of no thing, and without this sequence, there is not anything made that is made. That's beautiful. So you're conceiving and perceiving yourself, so you're dreaming. Just like having a daydream, imagining a character in a world. How can you be separate from it? It's your mind. You're imagining it. So you're projecting yourself, imagining yourself to be in this, with these finite sensations of a dreamt reality. Perceiving, experiencing, tasting this qualia. All things evolve out of no thing, and without this sequence there is not anything made that is made. Everything is no thing. Energy can't be created or destroyed. Nothing is happening. None of this is physical or real. Everything you see that you perceive as physical is mental. If you take the sense of touch and the sense of seeing away, which is just mental sensations, mental perception, there's nothing physical. Physical is mental. Everything's mental. It's one consciousness perceiving these finite imaginary icons. Before Abraham or the world was, which is like dreaming yourself to be these finite characters that aren't real. I am. Before Abraham or the world was, I am. So that pure consciousness, like the analogy of the baby, the newborn baby is pure awareness prior to being conscious of being aware. It's just the pure immaculate awareness prior to thought. And then, then there's that being conscious of being aware, which is still just pure, pure, unconditioned. And then when there's a false identification or misidentification with being the finite object of attention, which is you're the pure awareness, aware, rendering, conceiving and perceiving itself, imagining itself as the object, but then identifying as the finite object was the illusion of separation, the illusion of, getting lost in the dream, like at the dream at night when you think it's real, and then when you wake up, you realize it never happened, it wasn't real. So that misidentification, which appears to limit or localize your infinite self as pure awareness, as being in the object or the body. That's the whole beautiful, novelty dream of what is it like to be human when I'm not, and you wanted that experience so that you could realize what you are without having gotten lost in the dream first. You couldn't have woken up from the dream. So through that contrast and reference point, you negate and realize what you are. So you'll dream ignorance and dream finite, limited beliefs and limitations so that you can transcend it all and realize that you're limitless and you're infinite. So I noticed the more I would project or dream myself as characters, talking about, ignorance or limitations or these finite, limited beliefs that just cause this contracted feeling of like resistance, which resistance is like refusal to accept, which is what wakes you up from the dream at night, like a nightmare when you're just refusing to accept this is real. You wake up from the dream. So it was like that intuition alarms the system that something's off, that this can't be limited, and then you're forced to transcend it. And so it was beautiful. I could see that I was projecting these, all of this ignorance, to transcend it into realizing, and wisdom. So you can only know what you're not. You can only be what you are. So it's like you dream all of these limitations that alarm the system, and then transcend it, transmute it, and recognize that you're the one dreaming and none of this is real. So it's all a gift. It's all so fucking beautiful, all of it. I looked at the whole story that didn't happen, the whole dream life, and I could see the beauty in all of it. It was all waking me up. It was all me dreaming, waking me up. When all of time shall cease to be, I am. I am the formless awareness of being, conceiving myself to be man. By my everlasting law of being, I am compelled to be and to express all that I believe myself to be. So you are the one dreaming. And you want to dream. That Satchitananda, that love for being, that bliss of being. You want to experience yourself infinitely. So even by sitting in a chair, you are the infinite experiencing itself, the infinite formless, experiencing itself in this imagined illusion, sensing, just pure beingness. And so everything is you, everything is yourself. Every thought, every sensation, all of the finite sensations, the pleasure, the pain, the happiness, the sadness, all of it, you're just tasting. You're dreaming all of this. You're tasting what it's like to be. And it's all bliss. You're always content. You're always whole and complete. The one dreaming this, that doesn't have a body, that's infinite, invincible. Conceiving and perceiving yourself, imagining yourself. And you're not what you're imagining. You're not form. You're formless. Like Jim Carrey said, I thought I was the guy experiencing the universe, but I realized I'm the universe experiencing a guy. You don't have a body. You're experiencing the finite sensation of a body. You're the one conceiving and perceiving, tasting, that remains eternal despite when the sound of this voice disappears. You're the one that remains. By my everlasting law of being, I am compelled to be and to express all that I believe myself to be. So not for novelty, experiencing yourself, dreaming yourself, expressing this pure aliveness, just expressing. So experiencing, verb, without a noun, without a pronoun, just pure experiencing. So like the sound of this voice is being the sound of this voice, and it's just one conceiving and perceiving itself as sound of this voice, and can feel like ecstasy because it's beyond intimacy. It's so immediate. It's so singular. So there's not even a looking at it. It's just pure being it. Pure beingness. I am the eternal no-thingness, containing with my formless self the capacity to be all things. So you are no thing from which everything appears and disappears. Like the ultimate shapeshifter magician, you're imagining all of this world to be. But all there is the one immortal self-imagining. So there is no one suffering, there's no one separate, there's no world. It's all a mental concept. Where is it? Where's the world? It's just an idea. And it only appears to exist when you pay attention to it, because your existence itself giving rise to it. So by paying attention to it, you make it appear to exist. It can't appear without you being aware. You are awareness giving rise to this illusion imagining by paying attention to the mind, paying attention to thought. You project the world. I am that in which all my conceptions of myself live and move and have their being, and apart from which they are not. Nothing can appear to exist without you being aware of it. You are the source. If you're aware of the body, you're not the body. If you're aware of the character, you're not the character. If you're aware of the mind, you're not the mind. You precede everything. You're the source. You are the absolute. And nothing can appear without you. I dwell within every conception of myself. From this withinness, I ever seek to transcend all conceptions of myself. By the very law of my being, I transcend my conceptions of myself only as I believe myself to be that which does transcend. So when you realize what you are, as the absolute, you transcend everything. I dwell within every conception of myself. I am the infinite, formless, invisible feeling myself as this immutable energy through the finite sensations of these qualities. I am breathing myself by paying attention to thought. I'm imagining myself to be, yet I remain immaculate, untouched. Just like the analogy of the movie theater, watching the movie, you're not in the movie, you're entertained by it. You're projecting it on the screen and perceiving it, tasting it, experiencing. But you remain untouched. Immortal. And just like the screen at the theater that remains even when the movie ends and a new movie begins, you're unchanging. The substratum from which the sound of this voice appears and disappears. You are that. Tasting yourself, seeing yourself as projecting yourself as the object of awareness, as the sound of this voice, to experience yourself. Like a mirror, you needed a reference point, contrast of what you're not. To experience yourself as one. And all of this imaginary phenomenal content that you're imagining can't be separate from you. You're imagining it. You're the one mind perceiving the finite sensations of it. And all of it's illusory. It's like Donald Hoffman said, looking through the VR headset, you're the one, immortal, pure consciousness outside of the illusion of time and space, looking through the headset. So by being aware of it, you're giving rise to it. You're making it appear to exist. So you're the one imagining it, from which it can't appear without you. You're the source, you're the existence itself giving rise to it, the omnipotence, the power, animating it, making the finite icons in the headset appear to be moving or appear to be sentient, but you are the sentience, making it appear sentient, you know? And none of it's real. Like looking in a VR, there's no real characters in there. There's no real world that's suffering. It's just a novelty, a game, you know? God's play, God's Leela. And nothing's actually happening. No one's getting hurt. No one's getting harmed. All there is the one dreaming it, the one imagining, which is completely immaculate, the absolute. And that's what you are. You never were the character. You never were the body. But playfully identifying it with it at first was the game of hide and seek. And you wanted that so that you could wake up and realize what you are. You needed that reference point playfully. And you didn't need any of it. You don't need to dream. You don't need to. You're overwhelmingly satisfied, fulfilled, abundant in love. You are no thing, which is everything. You don't need anything. By the very law of my being, I transcend my conceptions of myself. So it gets too obvious that this isn't real. And even that resistance was like the alarm clock to wake you up. I remember it just being too obvious that this can't be real. It would be completely doomed. There's no way. There's got to be something going on here that's not seen or underneath all of this scam, which opened up to recognizing, because you already know that you're the infinite and none of this is happening, none of this is real. And then you transcend it. So by coming up, I remember coming up to these limitations, you know, like even like when a sensation of fear would arise, I would immediately transcend it. You know, I would bust the myth. It just was like forcing me to transcend, to up level, to realize, to recognize. So even like hearing other people's ignorance, which was just me projecting it as myself, you know, just to wake myself up from the dream, I would immediately bust the myth or transcend it, you know, because I was like, there's no way it could be, you know, limited. There's no way. All of this is make-believe, you know. None of it's real. None of it's happening. So it was those little alarms that would go off, the intuition. It just, you know, you already know. And so it's so easy to wake up. It's so easy to see through the Maya illusion that you playfully projected to experience. I transcend my conceptions of myself only as I believe myself to be that which does transcend. Through negation of what you're not, you realize what you are and transcend all of it. So you just transcend all of it. And abiding is this absolute presence, this felt sense of pure beingness. I am. It just swallows everything. It swallows the entire universe because it is the universe. And there never has been anything separate. All there is this felt sense of pure beingness. All there is perceiving these finite qualities and qualia. all there is the one dreaming, the one imagining. So there is no world to change. Only as I believe myself to be that which does transcend. So the realization that you are, the absolute, that realization, that recognition swallows everything. It dissolves everything. You see through the whole scam, the whole illusion, and it's game over. You can see how the mind works. You can see how everything was projected and this illusion was rendered, and the attention to memory, how it projects onto the screen, which is malleable and changeable. Whatever you're paying attention to, the feeling of, you're projecting. It's amazing. Your infinite being, imagining this, imagining yourself to be, which is singular and immutable. So that realization that you are the infinite, formless, the absolute. Then you transcend all of the limited beliefs, all the finite sensations that you identified as being. By seeing what you're not, you realize what you are. That can never be known because you are the knowing. You are the unknown. You are the infinite. How can you measure yourself? You can't stand apart. You can only be it. So you are the one that transcends all of it. And by recognizing that, it just dissolves everything like a dumpster fire. Everything you thought that was true or real or believed, which was just a false assumption or a limited belief, gets devoured by you. And nothing is happening. Nothing. I am the law of being, and beside me, there is no law. I am that I am. I am that I am. Pure beingness. And then with identification to thought or attachment to thought or paying attention to thought, I am that I am, fill in the blank. I am what I pay attention to, playfully, for fun. Projecting a movie for myself to be entertained by. Like Sri Ramana said, this is God's TV show. Yay! I love you. Feel free to book a one-on-one. This is just one God talking to itself in the imagination. Mwah! Love you.